Rarely have I seen an anime take such a drastic change of events in the first episode, such as Denki Gai did. While I wasn't necessarily hyped for this show, I was expecting it to be at least a low to mid-ranged 7. In short, the first 30 seconds made me wonder, what in the hell am I watching? The first 10 minutes were absolutely hilarious. But the last 10 minutes were just about the opposite. The story, for once, is not what I expected. I walked into Denki Gai thinking that the show would be a mix of Yusibu and Honya-san. Yusibu, a story that is overly dramatic with a department store setting that came out in fall 2013. And Honya-san, in short, is pretty much a loli fest. And while the first episode of Denki Gai met those expectations, it also added an element that I wasn't too fond of. Bakuman, Gekken Shoujo, Barakamon. What do all of these shows have in common? Did you guess it? I hope you did, because it's pretty obvious. All of these shows are about mangakas, or people who write and draw manga. Mangaka aren't easy to execute, though. Look how successful the 3 shows I listed are. Barakamon and Gekken Shoujo are often praised for their comedy, while Bakuman is known for its amazing execution of characters and plot development, and these are both places where Denki Gai struggles. Now, I'm done with this fucking script, because this shit takes too long to write. There are some pretty funny moments in this episode of Denki Gai, and I think that some of them consisted of just slapping, what's her name? I think it's Hyotan on the back of the head. Just seeing Yoko or the Yoko lookalike on the magazines. Seeing BLO on the magazines, just like a fucking reference to blowjobs. There are so many references in this show, like to Photoshop and things like that, that I can't help but laugh at some of them. I mean, there was even a fucking Inazuma reference, like they just flat out blurted it out. But here's the problem. When you reference so many things so many times in an episode, the references just become bland. It's not funny, it's not interesting, it's just you constantly shouting out other shows and other types of things. And I think that's one of the problems that Denki Gai had this episode. It relied on like 2 types of comedy. Number 1, the lowly looking, helpless and things of that sort. Number 2, references. And when both of those resources ran out, what were they left with other than a Gekken Shoujo wannabe? But that can't happen because Gekken Shoujo is Gekken Shoujo, Bakuman is Bakuman, and Barakamon is Barakamon. So there you go. I will praise the anime for its scenery because Jesus Christ, some of the scenery just looks fucking fantastic. But the problem is that the overall budget of the anime is very low, and I don't know if I was the only one that could tell this, but it was pretty obvious. The character designs, rather this is an original manga or whatever, the character designs in general just looked bad. A lot of them looked as if they took no effort and almost made me think of Hunter x Hunter's manga, where it looks as if Togashi almost took no effort into like drawing his stuff. Like Togashi spent like 7 years drawing an arc or something like that, but his drawings make it look like he only spent like 2 minutes, and I think that's what a lot of this anime looks like in terms of the main characters. And this is something that I would like to reference like this. A lot of these drawings look as if a 2-year-old, not a 2-year-old, look as if a 7-year-old wanted to draw it, and they had no real skills. It just looks as if, hey, I'm just gonna draw this onto a sheet of paper. There you go. And it's kind of really bland coloring, and you really could not tell, had them not being lolis and being introduced before. If these were just random characters on the street, you wouldn't have been able to tell them aside from the main characters. A lot of these characters looked as if they were even used in the backgrounds in some cases, and I think that's a problem with the anime just in general, and I feel as if that's going to bring it down. And the thing is, the anime had potential, but because you mixed Yusibu with Hanayamada and Gekken Shoujo or Bakuman, and when you do something like that, you have to know how to execute it. And I think the problem with this anime this episode was execution. The comedy for the first 10 minutes made me laugh my ass off. The last 10 minutes made me bored to death. And you can't just do that. Another problem that I have are the character designs. And what the fuck? I think I already mentioned this a bit, but there is one character design that I really want to get to. I think his name is Somolier. And that's just bad character design. Here's why. Some of you are going to call me nitpicking, but let's be honest. How many times have you seen an anime character where you can't see their eyes? Okay, now think. How were those eyes covered? They were probably covered with hair, right? Unless it was like a serious moment and they just covered it with shading and stuff, but in most cases they even use longer hair to an extent. What I'm trying to get at is that Sommelier can't have his fucking eyes not showing if the hair is not over his eyes. It's just a shadow, and you can't just do that. It just doesn't appeal to the eye. It doesn't appeal to a human eye like that. It's just something that it feels like whoever was in charge of the art direction was just too lazy to do. Or even if that's how it is in the manga, if it's like that in the manga, I just don't know what the fuck people are doing. That's just bad character design. But I will say this, the one compliment that I will give the show is that it knows what it wants to be, it's just a bad job at doing it. If you want to make references, go look at how Gintama does it. They don't do it every single episode, they just bring them up, and when they bring them up, they bring it up in like casual conversations. Whereas it felt as if a lot of the times this anime was just forcing comedy into the episode. So, those are my first impressions on Denki Gai. I'm going to give it 2 more episodes, and if I'm not having what I should feel, if I'm not feeling how I should feel, I may either drop it or just stop reviewing it, because I have a lot more shows I need to fucking watch this season. So anyways, I know this is kind of weird. I was just like, I wanted to get a lot of this thing just done with a script, because I felt as if that would be shorter. But then I remembered, hey guys, you also have to write the script, and then there were so many times that I fucked up on the script, so I was just like, let me freehand this shit and see how well it sounds. And it sounds great, because it sounds like I was actually using a script for some of this. That's cool. Now, like I said, you know when I was using a script and when I wasn't. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy, please leave a like, comment. I'd give this series like a 6.5, maybe a 6, because I found Ghoul more entertaining than this. It was, so I'd just give this a 6. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you guys did enjoy, please leave a like, comment, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Deuces.